Hi and welcome to Real Reviews, where with the release of Zone of Interest, which is a new Jonathan Glazer movie, it seems quite apt that the new limited series adaptation of his original film Sexy Beast is now coming to Paramount Plus and is out for everyone to enjoy right now. It stars James McArdle, Ewan Elliott, Tamsin Greig and a whole host of other character actors, including Stephen Moyer, which people may remember from True Blood way back in the day with Anna Paquin. So let's jump into this new Sexy Beast 2023 styling and find out exactly what it is that's making this gangster flick adaptation homage tick. So from the get-go, what you've got here essentially is an 80s gangster thriller, but like a British one. So you're looking like what they'd like it to be is something along the lines of The Long Good Friday, or maybe Get Carter, but sort of updated for an 80s sort of era. James McArdle does a good impression of Ray Winston. It's not an impression of Ray Winston, but this new Gale Dove is as savvy, he's as charming, he's as erudite, and he's as savvy. I think I might have mentioned that twice. And it's quite a well-rounded performance as it goes, and you get this you get this impression of this sort of lad about town with his finger in a lot of pies, very much essentially as Winston may well have been back in the day in this particular character role. What you have with Ewan Elliott, he has a slightly larger hill to climb as he's taking on the Ben Kingsley role of Don Logan, which got Kingsley an Oscar nomination back in 2002. And as much as he may embellish and expand on that performance in this particular iteration, you cannot get away from the indelible imprint, I think, which Ben Kingsley left, or Sir Ben Kingsley left on the role of Don Logan, and is still hugely quotable. The issue also is that the fact that Michael Caleo, who is the showrunner, is obviously a huge fan. This feels more like a love letter to the original film than anything else, which is no bad thing. This is, by no means is Sexy Beast 2023 a bad show, not by any means. But what you have is you have a series of performances which are almost not caricature, but they're very, very close to the originals, and you have to bear in mind that Ray Winston and Ben Kingsley have some seriously big shoes to fill. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into exactly what it is that is going to make Sexy Beast worth catching up on. Let's do that. So stepping away from Ewan Elliott and James McArdle for a second, the standouts for me were Tamsin Greig playing Celia Logan, that's Don's sister, who's this overbearing, sort of like not almost matriarchal, but not quite, sort of she's really hard-edged, she's very mannish, she takes absolutely no prisoners, and gives Don a real run for his money, but is ultimately, she holds him on a leash. And this is a great performance from Tamsin Greig, and it's a real departure, I think, in terms of performances and characters she's played previously. Stephen Moyer is very good as Teddy Bass, taking over from Ian McShane, and really bringing a sort of understated menace to the whole equation in terms of giving this some real, like, it feels really gritty, feels really dirty, and it can't benefit enough, in my opinion. You've also got Paul Kaye playing Stan Higgins, and this is very much Paul Kaye pretty much just being a darker, dirtier, more unhinged version of himself, it seems, and he fits the character like a glove. In terms of the overall story, whether it's a heist which is aimed at Julian, I think he's called Julian Rind Tutt, who was originally in Green Wing. He was the guy with the ginger hair. I'm sorry, I know that sounds really vague, but I'm in the midst of a monologue, as you can tell. So these are real standouts for me, and this is what makes Sexy Beast actually work inherently, I think. But the problem is you cannot get away from comparisons here. You cannot move away from the film as much as it should be inspired by. It really does feel like a homage, a very respectful, very quite a well done one. It's not exceptional, it's not excellent, it's not, oh my god, this is intense, but there is plenty to like here, and I think there's plenty of value in again, for people who were fans of Jonathan Glazer's original, for catching up and at least having that comparison so you can have that conversation with other people of a like mind. So let's dive into that rating, shall we? Right, so I'm going to give this a 3 to a 3.5 out of 5 on the big old 5 scale. Again, it's not because it's bad, it's just because there is too much there in terms of people will not be able to separate themselves from the original film, at least fans won't, and for those that they're going to need some context, they're going to need some comparison, and anyone who's interested in this film is going to hunt it down and check out the original film, and that's when those comparisons, that's when it's going to become really evident, I think, for anybody who watches it. So 3 out of 5 on the big old 5 scale. Let's move into that trailer next, shall we? Let's do that. Right, and so it is that you've reached the end of the video review for Sexy Beast circa 2023, currently doing the rounds on Paramount Plus and starring James McArdle and Tamsin Greig and Ewan Elliott. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to drop a comment in the comment box below, then feel free. Failing that, you can subscribe, so every Tuesday and every Saturday when another one of these videos hits the tinternet, you can just drop in and watch or listen to as much as you wish and go about your day. In the meantime, check out the rest of the channel and maybe drop into my Patreon page. Until then, take care. Bye.